So this adventure at Rosenborg started like 5 years ago because I'm a musicologist and I was used to listen to music mostly, and then I thought maybe I could listen to the rest of the soundscape of the past, and I started this project on reconstructing the soundscape of this specific site, Rosenborg Castle in Copenhagen. And I received a big grant from the Independent Research Fund in Denmark to conduct the scientific part, which is now over. I've been working in this amazing place with the artifacts, with the archives, researching all the objects in the castle that make sounds, finding sounds in the archival documents, in travelers' description that would come to Rosenborg, listen to the invisible music, and so on and so forth. And then, as an outreach of this project, I decided to begin this immersive soundscape exhibition. So I met Martin, my partner in crime, who is an amazing wizard in everything that is sound related, music composer, sound designer, and he has all this amazing gadget that makes it in 3Ds. And I transformed my research from the academic part into a scenario, and that was a super nice thing to do because it's the same sources, but I needed to write them not, as a scientific piece of scholarship with a lot of footnotes, with a lot of description of sources, analysis, and so on and so forth, which is something I love to do. But I needed to transform that into an engaging narrative. And luckily in Rosenborg, we have plenty of amazing stories. So I enjoyed the scenario writing immensely. It was doing everything I always do, but transmitting in a different way. Telling a story with my sources. That's how it started. Oh, then we've been very busy with Martin, so we needed to record the actors, which has been an exciting day in studio. It was also very nice for me to listen to the words I've written down on paper, becoming alive. And then we've worked with Martin in the studio to create the soundscape. It's not just a voice, but there is a whole world going around. So we put some horses coming in the courtyard, a horse carriage, people walking, the sound of the clothes ruffling around and creating a whole sound, the sound of the footstep going up and down the stairs with different clothing, different types of shoes. And creating this whole, the soundscape around it, and which is an amazing thing to do because sound, without word, they also tell a story, and it's very evocative. And then Martin did the whole thing to put that in 3D, which gives it so more depth and so more vividness. And the next step will be to bring that into the castle and make the installation. That's going to be fun, a lot of challenge, but it's going to happen and it's going to be great.
Jeg vil have mere snaps. Meget mere snaps.
Oh, there are a lot of practical things to take into consideration because it's not a museum like any museum. It's a castle from the 17th century, so safety rules are extremely important. You cannot just bring plugs and cables. There is fire safety that is very strict. But we are really lucky to work with a team that has been incredibly supportive, finding creative solutions to all our big problems. But I think the main problem is, I would say two. One is the timing, because it has to be fast. So writing the scenario was already a very challenging thing. I would have loved to tell a long story, but it's actually very good to shorten them. So Rosenborg is a massive amount of visitors. They go very fast. So it's half an hour for the whole castle, and our scene lasts like 2 minutes tops. Some are shorter. So it's difficult to tell a story so shortly, but you have to be very efficient and convey something. And the technical challenge, I think mostly dealing with how we can bring all these loudspeakers, the one outside, it's windy, it's Denmark, it's raining, bringing the cable and finding the power outlet. But it's getting there. We have many castles in Denmark, but Rosenborg is a unique case, not just in Denmark, but in the whole Europe, because its luck is that it was too small a castle, so it was used only in the 17th century. And unlike Versailles or Frederiksborg or Sanssouci, these castles have been enlarged, they've been remodeled, they've been completely transformed. Rosenborg is pretty much what it used to be in the 17th century, because the royal family used it from 1604 until 1707. So it has changed a bit. They added the stair, turrets here, a thing there. But what we have is what we had in the 17th century. So that's unique, and meaning we have the room as they were and as they sounded, almost exactly as it was in the 17th century. Plus, Rosenborg has an amazing thing, which is called invisible music. It was a trick invented by the King Christian IV. He loved his favorite art form were architecture and music. So he was always busy rebuilding the castle, adding things here and there, getting his architect to become crazy because he was not an architect, but he knew what he wanted to do and he just changed the plan continuously. And he built in the winter room, which is the room in the ground floor. He built sonic conduit, meaning holes between the basement and this room where he would receive his diplomats, foreign prince, and important visitor. So he would put his poor musician in the basement and he would make a secret signal. So when the French ambassador comes in, the music starts and nobody can see it. Which doesn't sound strange for us today. But at the time, it was impossible to listen to invisible music. There were no loudspeakers. Music was always linked to its source. You always could see the musician. And for Christian IV, this was a very orchestrated ceremonial to assess his power. He could make invisible music appear. And that made quite an effect on his spectators. So one part of the scenario is about this invisible music. And the rest is going to be a surprise.
Net van mij, schat.